It's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. LLanusa is back. He is a member of the Claremont Unified School Board. And I want to speak with you about Common Core. You know, I'm on Facebook and I see a lot of people expressing concerns about Common Core, the upcoming assessments. What should I tell my friends?
Well, Common Core has two components to it. The curriculum, which is great because it is teaching students at a much deeper level than we've taught before. We're teaching students fewer things at each grade level, but with greater depth.
And is that necessarily great? I mean, I can see the advantages, you know, go deeper, fewer subjects, but what about having a survey?
Surveys are fine if you're not sure what you want to learn or what you want to do. But when we have national standards that we know we want to have students learn, we have to make sure that we have the rigor and the depth that they're able to learn them.
So last year, there were no standardized tests given in California. This year, there will be, correct?
Last year, there were pilot tests given to some students at some schools.
Thank you for that correction.
This year, all students at all schools will take the tests in both the subjects of ELA and math. And that's the other part of Common Core,
Right.
the assessment of the curriculum.
So I remember when Governor Brown called off the tests for last year, for a certain, you know, for the majority of the students, there was a whole hubbub, you know, back in DC. They were upset that somehow they wouldn't have the data to be able to provide certain grants or whatever it may be. So what's happening this year then?
The tests are still being given. In fact, my own 6th grade students were practicing this week on how to do the test. And those scores will be used to help schools see where they are, but they won't be necessarily used to penalize schools that don't make targets.
Will students know? Will parents know? Do we know yet?
I don't know that students will get their individual scores. I know that schools will get grade level scores.
So what do you think of that? Because look, standardized tests have, you know, it's a whole can of worms when you think about standardized tests, but they can be at some level indicative, instructive. Are you glad to be getting the results as you're a teacher as well as a school board member?
And in both positions, I'm glad to look at the results because I want to see how are our schools doing, how am I doing, how are my students doing.
So parents are nervous, even though these scores are not supposed to have implications for the student or the school. They're nervous. What can they do if they want to help their students prepare?
Parents should go to the website for CASP.org.
Okay.
CAASPP.org, CASP.org.
Right.
There are practice tests online. And I would recommend that if they have a 6th or 7th grade student, that they start at the grade 3. Because then they'll be able to see what students have been expected to learn. This is our 2nd year with the Common Core curriculum assessments. It assumes on the assessment that these students have had this curriculum since they were in first grade.
They haven't.
Right. So that's why if you look at grades before the student's current grade level, they'll get an idea of what they're expected to learn.
What do you think? I mean, what are you learning?
I'm learning that they're, even at the 3rd grade level, asking some fairly sophisticated questions.
So are the 6th graders ready? Because look, the new 3rd graders, they've been learning the new stuff. But what about, I've said this to you before, it's the kids in the middle that are gonna, you know, face challenges.
My 6th grade students are starting practicing at the 3rd grade level.
And what are you learning? What do you hear? What do you see?
I'm learning that 3rd graders have some pretty challenging math concepts.
Okay.
And I think parents and families should look at those concepts together so that parents can see how to help their children do well on the tests.
But how do you go back 3-4 years?
1 year at a time.
Okay, so when are the tests being given?
They're, for my school, at the end of April. Some schools have given the test already. Some schools will be giving the test in May.
I can't wait to get the results, just statewide for sure. His name is LLanusa. He is a board member at Claremont Unified School District. My name is Brad Pomerance. You've been watching Time Warner Cable's Local Edition.